Hello everyone. In the past few videos, we have explored some of the major branches of philosophy. In this video, we'll be continuing the journey by moving on to one of its most important subdivisions, ethics. Let us start with something simple. Imagine you are walking down the street and someone in front of you had dropped their wallet without noticing it. You pick the wallet up. Now you have two choices. You can either take the wallet and go home or return it to the person who dropped the wallet. At that moment, you are not just deciding between two choices, you are actually stepping into the world of ethics because ethics is about that very question. What should I do? At its simplest, ethics is the study of what we ought to do. It's about asking what is the right thing and why. And notice, it's not always obvious. That's what makes ethics so important. Understanding what ethics is also means seeing how it differs from laws and personal opinions. Laws can be legally valid, but history shows us that legality doesn't always equal morality. Slavery, discrimination, and segregation were all once legally valid but profoundly unjust. Ethics challenges us to look beyond what the law allows and to figure out whether the laws themselves are truly rightful. At the same time, it looks beyond personal opinion, which can be influenced by culture, upbringing, and emotions. It asks for reasons that others can understand, evaluate, and discuss, guiding us to make choices that are fair, thoughtful, and morally responsible. So, ethics pushes us to think critically about our values. It challenges us to go beyond habit or convenience and to hold ourselves accountable to something bigger. If morals describe what people happen to believe, ethics acts like a test. It asks whether those beliefs are fair, reasonable, and worthy of guiding human behavior. Ethics is usually divided into three parts: metaethics, normative ethics, and applied ethics. Metaethics asks the deepest questions about morality itself. What does it mean to say something is right or wrong? Are moral truths universal or are they shaped by culture and personal feelings? It's less about what to do and more about understanding the nature of moral reasoning. Normative ethics looks at how we ought to act. It asks whether our choices should be guided by the outcomes they produce, the principles we follow, or the kind of character we develop. It helps us set standards for what's right and wrong, giving us tools to think through our decisions. Basically, normative ethics gives us frameworks or roadmaps for figuring out the right course of action. Applied ethics examines how moral frameworks guide decisions in concrete real world situations. It's the branch of ethics that connects philosophical ideas with practical action, helping us determine what's right and responsible in everyday life. Later, we'll explore the various disciplines and areas where applied ethics plays a vital role, showing how these moral principles shape the choices we make across society. It's important to note that these divisions aren't rigid or completely separate. In practice, they often overlap with questions and ideas from one branch influencing or connecting with the others. Within normative ethics, philosophers have developed several influential approaches for understanding morality or what is right and wrong. Three of the most important ones are consequentialism, deontology, and virtue ethics. Consequentialism. This ethical framework suggests that the morality of an action is determined by its outcomes or results. In other words, what matters most is the effect an action has on overall well being. One of the most well known forms of consequentialism is utilitarianism, which teaches that we should aim to maximize happiness and minimize suffering. According to this view, an action is considered ethical if it produces more positive outcomes than negative ones. For example, imagine a doctor with a limited supply of medicine. A utilitarian approach would focus on distributing it in a way that benefits the most people, even if it means some get less than they ideally need. Consequentialism pushes us to consider the broader impact of our choices, reminding us that ethics isn't just about intentions, it's about the real effects our actions have on others. Deontology. Deontology, most closely associated with Immanuel Kant, focuses on the inherent rightness or wrongness of actions rather than their consequences. Some actions are morally required or forbidden, no matter the outcome. For example, lying is wrong even if it might produce a good result. This framework emphasizes principles, duties, and rules, asking us to act according to moral laws that could, in principle, apply universally. As Kant put it, we should only act in ways we would be willing for everyone else to act as well, an idea he called the categorical imperative. This encourages consistency and integrity, showing that ethical behavior is about following moral principles and not just about chasing good outcomes. For instance, if you make a promise, deontology says you must keep it, even if breaking it might seem to bring better results. It reminds us that ethics isn't always convenient. It's about doing what is right, even when it's difficult. Virtue ethics. Unlike consequentialism or deontology, virtue ethics focuses on the character of the person acting rather than rules or outcomes. Rooted in Aristotle's philosophy, it shifts the question from what should I do to who should I be. Ethical behavior, in this view, flows from cultivating virtues such as honesty, courage, kindness, and fairness. For example, instead of debating whether lying is right or wrong in a specific situation, a virtue ethicist would ask whether a truthful person, someone with integrity, would lie. The emphasis is on building habits and dispositions that shape our moral character over time. In daily life, virtue ethics reminds us that ethical choices grow out of the kind of people we are becoming. By striving to embody good character, our decisions become more natural and consistent because ethics here is as much about who we are as it is about what we do. Each of these frameworks, consequentialism, deontology, and virtue ethics, offers a unique lens for thinking about right and wrong. By exploring them, we gain tools to navigate the complex moral decisions we face in everyday life. Now, ethics might seem like something completely abstract, but in truth, it shows up in the small choices we make every day. Think about this. Your friend asks for your honest opinion on something. Telling them the truth might hurt them, but at the same time, hiding it away from them might mislead them. What do you do? That's an ethical choice. Even the things we buy carry moral weight. Imagine a situation where you have two shirts, one which is cheap but made under poor working conditions, and the other one which is expensive but made under proper working conditions. Choosing between the shirts isn't just about price or style, it's about ethics. These decisions might seem small and trivial to us, but in reality, these are the ones that shape who we are and what others perceive of us. In today's interconnected world, even the tiny choices we make, like what we post online, or how we respond to people who disagree with us, or what we support with our money, can ripple far beyond ourselves. Ethics makes us pause and ask ourselves, am I supporting what's easiest or what's right? In doing so, it quietly guides the kind of people we become and the world we build together. Ethics weaves through and influences many aspects of society, touching multiple disciplines in ways that affect how we live, work, and make decisions. As we saw earlier, this is exactly what applied ethics is about, putting moral principles into practice in real world situations. With that in mind, let us take a closer look at some of the fields where ethics plays a vital role. Environment. The choices we make today affect generations to come. Ethics asks us to consider our responsibility toward the planet and future generations as we confront climate change. Medicine. In healthcare, ethical dilemmas often arise when balancing the goal of saving lives with respecting personal freedoms, especially during global health crises. Law and politics. Ethics guides how policies and laws are crafted, helping ensure justice and fairness in a world full of complex social challenges. Business and economics. Companies constantly face decisions about prioritizing profit versus treating employees, consumers, and communities fairly. Ethics informs those choices, reminding us that responsibility matters as much as success. Technology. With artificial intelligence advancing rapidly, we face questions like, can AI be trusted to make life and death decisions in healthcare or self driving cars? These are decisions that go beyond technical skill. They involve judgment, responsibility, and ethics. Across all these areas, ethics challenges us to pause, think critically, and consider perspectives beyond our own. It's not just a set of abstract rules, it's a practical guide for navigating the complex decisions that define the way we live together. In essence, ethics influences our actions and shapes the way in which we impact the world and the people around us. It challenges us to look beyond short term gains, to recognize the dignity of others, and to imagine a society that is just, compassionate, and sustainable. Every choice we make, small or big, is an opportunity to act thoughtfully and responsibly. Ethics isn't just an idea, it's a practice that shapes our character and the world around us. With this, we have come to the end of this video. Thank you all for watching this video. I'll be coming up with another video in a short time. Till then, goodbye.